You remember where you were. Most people who lived through October 1962 do. They remember the exact moment they realized the world could disappear in 30 minutes. Not in some abstract future war, not in 20 years, in 30 minutes. I'm your host, and this is Tale Master Legends Series. Welcome. And this is not the story of statesmen being statesman-like. This is the story of ordinary people who woke up one morning and understood, really understood, that their children might not see sunset. It is the story of 13 days when the planet held its breath, and the decade that followed when we exhaled but never quite relaxed again. October 16, 1962. CIA photo interpreters spot MRBMs in Cuba. Kennedy convenes XCOM. Options: airstrike, invasion, blockade, do nothing. He chooses quarantine, blockade by another name. October 22nd, 7 p.m., Kennedy speaks to the nation. This secret, swift, and extraordinary buildup of communist missiles is a deliberately provocative and unjustified change in the status quo which cannot be accepted by this country if our courage and our commitments are ever to be trusted again. The world listens. Soviet ships approach the quarantine line. U.S. Navy prepares to fire. Khrushchev calls it piracy. The line holds. October 27, Black Saturday. U-2 shot down over Cuba. Major Rudolf Anderson killed. Another U-2 strays into Soviet airspace. MiGs scramble but don't fire. Nuclear-armed F-106s are airborne. A Soviet submarine captain orders torpedo launch. Vasily Arkhipov says no. The torpedo stays in the tube. Khrushchev blinks. Missiles withdrawn. November 22, 1963. Dallas. John F. Kennedy shot. The world stops again. Not from bombs this time, from a rifle in a book depository. Lyndon Johnson sworn in on Air Force One. Jackie Kennedy still in blood-stained suit. The nation weeps. The Cold War pauses for a week, then continues. August 5, 1963. Partial test ban treaty signed. No more atmospheric tests. Underground only. A small victory, but the bombs keep growing. August 1964. Gulf of Tonkin incident. Alleged North Vietnamese attacks on U.S. destroyers. Johnson gets Tonkin Gulf resolution. Congress gives him blank check. Troop levels rise. 1965. Operation Rolling Thunder. Bombing North Vietnam. Troops reach 184,000 by end of year. Draft calls surge. College campuses stir. Anti-war buttons appear. San Francisco Haight-Ashbury. Summer of Love. Flower Children. LSD. Free Love. Across the Pacific, Vietnam burns. Tet Offensive planning begins. Body counts rise. Domino theory repeated like prayer. January 30th, 1968. Tet Offensive. Viet Cong attack 100 cities. U.S. Embassy in Saigon breached. Westmoreland asks for 206,000 more troops. Public support collapses. March 31st, Johnson announces he will not run again. April 4th, Martin Luther King assassinated in Memphis. Riots in 100 cities. June 5th, Robert Kennedy assassinated in Los Angeles. August, Chicago Democratic Convention. Police riot outside. Protesters beaten on live television. November 5th, Nixon elected. Silent majority. Vietnamization promised. Peace with honor.
These were not the years of victory. They were the years we learned that winning the war did not mean winning the peace. We built more bombs. We fought proxy wars. We hunted witches at home. We divided the world into spheres and called it balance. We told children to hide under desks from the end of the world, and we called it normal. Because the alternative, admitting we had created our own apocalypse and might still use it, was too terrible to face. So we faced the drills instead. The war that came back in 1939 did not end in 1945. It just learned to live inside us, and we learned to live with it. This is just the beginning of a story. In future episodes, we'll explore the Western Front, warfare, the rise of new weapons, the strategies of great generals, and the human cost of this conflict. If you want to understand the history that shaped the modern world,
subscribe to Tailmaster Legends series. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in next one.